Hey everybody, this is Josh Runquist here for the Heavy Debriefings YouTube channel, back with another edition of Out Today and What I Missed. This time for October 17th, 2025. I have another 20 albums to go over this week, 14 that come out today, 6 I've missed along the way, and when we're done with this whole spiel this week, I will have done 900 album reviews so far this year, and we're still not done. Since we have that much to go over, no more time to dilly-dally. Let's just get into it. First up is one of my favorite albums of the year, bar none. It's an abstract illusion with The Sleeping City. The third album from this mighty Swedish band has Album of the Year written all over it. It's the perfect blend of atmospheric and progressive death metal that they perfected on their previous album, 2022's Woe. This time, however, they incorporated some 80s synth elements in just the right spots to make the album feel just a bit more haunting. There's a bit more clean vocals this time around, which I know is make or break for some people. For me, I think it just simply works. The production is top notch and the songwriting is simply made for someone of my taste, hitting so many dynamics and not afraid to expand when necessary. This is a long, ever-expanding music that knows how to play with your musical senses. If you enjoy the likes of Niamh Lascaris, Witherscape, Tomarum, and Bellacore, this will be one of your favorite albums of the year as well. Now we have Age of Ruin with Nothingman. 5 albums in 25 years from this DC band has led to arguably the band's best work to date. Hitting this fine line of the catchiest moments of 2000s metalcore with just the faintest bits of 90s melodeath to make an album that stretches the early day 21st century sound and updates it just enough for 2025. The production hits hard and satisfies with the songwriting being dynamic and evolving from song to song. If you have a bias towards 2000s metalcore, you're probably going to want to stay clear of this, but if you enjoy the likes of Darkest Hour, 36 Crazy Fists, and Paradise Slaves, you'll find something to enjoy about Age of Ruin. It brings the past up to the present in a way that feels natural and very much needed. Now we have Biohazard with Divided We Fall. I never thought I'd get the opportunity to cover a promo from Biohazard, but 13 years after the last album, the band is back with their 10th album and easily some of the band's best material. It reminds me so much of the early day sound that they had, but just updated enough for 2025. While there are some sludgier and groovier moments on the album, so much of this album feels like the 80s hardcore, crossover thrash, and punk done in a way that couldn't be more needed in today's age. The lyrics are as relevant as ever, and the music just makes someone, even like me, want to jump into the pit. The production is just so slick and polished for the style, and it hits you so hard, and the music more than calls for that. This feels like such a great callback for all those who want the old school days, but with a 2025 life experience. It's not a pretty look at modern society, but it's a very much needed one. But if you've ever dug Biohazard, you're going to enjoy what's going on here with Divided We Fall. Next up, we have Erdling with Mana. The 7th album from this long-running German band hits so many things that I like on the dark side of industrial music, and it only gets more addictive with every repeat listen. It can get quite catchy and poppy, but it still maintains this dark aura, more metal aspects that make the music rewarding, and it's so satisfying. No song overstays its welcome, with the longest song just being 2 seconds over 4 minutes, and at 11 tracks, it feels like this album just flies by. While I don't speak German, so I can't speak to lyrical content, I do love the vocal melodies and harmonies that are going on here, and they truly help sell the music. If you wish Rammstein was a little more heavy, with more double bass, guitar solos, and genre bending, or if you want a band that's closer to bands like Stallman or Knockblut, this should be right up your alley. Give this one a proper listen and enjoy. Next up, we have Evoken with Mendacium. 7 albums into this New Jersey Funeral Doom band's catalog, and they may have put out their magnum opus. This is a masterpiece of how to achieve Funeral Doom greatness. The slow, dirge-like tempos, the tomb opening style growls, the power of every single note mattering almost more than the previous one, and so many more rewarding elements of this style are achieved throughout 8 tracks that are almost an hour and 3 minutes in length. The production, handled by none other than Bumblefoot. Yes, that Bumblefoot sounds absolutely massive and kinda gives me a remastered album feel originally released back in 1994, which I think is an incredible thing. 2025 has been a great year for the slim but valuable genre of Funeral Doom. Evoken has taken that to heart and has released one of, if not the best album of the genre in the 2020s. If you dig Mournful Congregation, Ahab, and Esoteric, check out Evoken, and I mean immediately. Next up, we have Grailknights with Forever. I'll never forget stumbling upon this band's fourth album, Calling the Choir, back in 2014, and being a fan ever since. While there have only been 3 albums since then, including this one, the band knows how to channel their balance of not taking themselves seriously and putting out fun music for people looking for fun, and taking themselves seriously enough to make competent music. In the silly side of power metal, that is a hard thing to do, but they have so much to offer. The songs are excellently made, trimmed of any of the fads, and leaves you with an album that will more than hold your attention for all 11 tracks, and a bonus version of ABBA's Super Trooper as well. The production fits perfectly with the music and truly makes everything shine through the darkness. If you're looking for bands like Twilight Force, Nanowar, Steel, but done through a superhero gaze, Grailknights have been putting out killer album after killer album for 21 years now. Maybe not the biggest name of the genre, they are the scrappy underdogs that you can rely on with every other superhero and power metal has been defeated. Send out Grailknight Signal now and check them out. Now we have GraveRipper with From Welkin to Tundra. The sophomore album from this Indianapolis band is sure to capture that dark magic of everyone who enjoys black and speed metal. The band has that particular aura to them that hits that black and speed metal elements perfectly, while adding just enough thrash elements to make them stand out amongst the rest of the genre. The songs go through so many twists and turns in an eerie and haunting style, but never long enough to feel meandering. The album comes in at 10 tracks and 33 minutes and 33 seconds, so there's no time to dilly-dally on this one. The production is phenomenal and has one of the most authentic and pounding styles done in this style all year, and again, that songwriting is just impeccable. If you dig the likes of Hellripper, Toxic Holocaust, and Early Day Skeleton Witch, this may be one of your favorite albums of 2025. Now we have Human Fortress with Stronghold. The 7th album in 24 years from this long-running German band is a killer display of what epic power metal can still be in 2025. While maintaining that grandiose sound, the band channels everything from powerful ballads to heavy mid-tempo stompers, while never going past that Iron Maiden speed, so it's never at full blast. It focuses on drawing out the magic of their songwriting rather than being a showcase for top speed. The production feels modern, yet vintage at the same time, which really helps the music shine, and the songwriting feels just right as long as this is your bag. But that said, this is for anyone who enjoys the likes of Virgin Steel, Masterplan, Hammerfall, and Black Majesty. Human Fortress has been putting out fantastic albums since 2001, and if Stronghold is any indication, they are far from done. If you've never checked them out before, but you want to take on a more subdued yet very powerful style of epic power metal, check out Human Fortress. And now for something completely different. We have Now I've Done It with and 3 guests. Yeah, you heard that right. This is for those who like their metal to the left of center. This album goes into almost every single style you can think of, but also unexpected territories that will boggle the mind and leave you intrigued for more. For as much as going on with this album, you would think the production would be all over the place, but it's very consistent and it makes the songs feel very fleshed out and proper. The songwriting itself, it's weird. You don't often check out a band like this if you are looking for sanity though. This feels like a big old mix of Diablo Swing Orchestra, 633, Mr. Bungle, and Stolen Babies all poured into a blender, and it's a wild concoction that may very well mess with your senses, but in the end, would you want it any other way? This is an adventurous debut album that is more than worthy for those who dare to say that they listen to everything, and they actually mean it. Next up, we have Sabaton with Legends. Arguably the most popular power metal band in the world, Sabaton is back with their 12th album, and it feels like a welcome change of pace. Don't get me wrong, they have their signature sound intact, and they have zero reason to ever change it. I mean, come on, look how big of places they're playing now. But thematically, the music is grander than ever before. Rather than focusing on 20th Century War, which has been predominantly their bread and butter until now, the band is tackling full-on world history, with some of the most, well, legendary names in war, and hitting their stories with that Sabaton twist. You will hear more unconventional moments throughout as well, but it's nothing that takes away from the fun history lessons the band has been doing for 21 years now. The production is pristine and exactly what you want from the band, and again, the change-ups in topics makes this album feel grander and easily one of the best Sabaton albums to date. I have been waiting for an album like this from the band for a long time, and it's been a bit since I've received a Sabaton promo. I'm so happy I got to check this one out and let you know that there is a familiar yet new fire under the band, and makes me quite excited for the future. If you need that, check out Legends from Sabaton. Next up, we have Sintage with Unbound Triumph. The sophomore album from this German outfit is such a fun throwback, yet they make the heavy metal and speed metal genres their own. Of course, you can hear the nods to the genres that are getting near almost 50 years old now, and wow, I do not like saying that out loud, but they still find a way to add their own herbs and spices into the mix and make the music a fun and captivating experience from beginning to end. The production is pure vintage, and it feels like one of the best albums from 1985 that you haven't heard until now. And that songwriting will take the occasional twist and turn to make everything feel just a little bit different, but it is the speed metal that you expect, the variations of classic metal it deserves, and the overall atmosphere that a retro sound has always had lifeblood in it all. This is simply one of the best displays of throwback metal sound in 2025, and it will only take one listen to understand why. Give it the time it deserves. Check this one out if you're a speed metal fan. Next up is Tribal Gaze with Inveighing Brilliance. The sophomore album from this Texas band is some devastating death metal, no matter your taste of the genre. It has this perfect blend of throwback and modern at the same time. I can hear as much Morbid Angel and Severe Torture as I do 200 Stab Wounds and Gatecreeper. The songwriting takes that Morbid Angel approach where it can be as brutal as anything else, regardless of the tempos involved, and the vocal delivery is one of the heaviest and most distinct that I've heard in this genre all year. This is an interesting hybrid of old school and new school that instantly grabs my attention and makes me continuously check out the genre to see what's next. Tribal Gaze is doing some superior stuff with their sophomore album. Check it out and see what I mean. Now we have Wings of Steel with Winds of Time. The sophomore album from this LA band is a landmark album not only for the band, but for the revival genre. The fact that they are opening for Sabaton on their 2026 North American tour, and hey, once you know if both albums came out today, is something to truly be proud of, and I feel like the band could truly be launched into the stratosphere, all because of this. While the debut album did a great display of showcasing the more hard rock and metal side of things, Winds of Time shows more of the classic metal side, and fully shows what the band is capable of, from jaw-dropping musicianship to insane vocal deliveries, to writing super heavy riffs to powerful ballads, and a showcase of what the new generation of heavy metal is all alive and well. Knowing this band is younger than me gives me hope for the future, and also makes me quite sad at my age, but if you are a fan of the past and the present of heavy metal, hard rock, revival metal, and power metal, it should for you as well. This is how it's done, folks. Wings of Steel may bring the genre back from the more mainstream crowds, and in 2025, we definitely need that. Check this one out. And finally, for brand new music out today, we have Wretched with Decay. While they have only had 5 albums under their belt since 2009, Wretched has been an underground staple that has vastly improved with every single release, and with that said, this is by far their best material. Hitting all the extremes that you would want from death metal, the band has matured and written some of the best music of any genre of death metal in 2025. They can hit near doom metal territories, they can get into some deathcore breakdowns, they hit the melodeath and tech deck elements with perfection, and none of it feels like a hodgepodge of sound. It just feels like Wretched. The production is devastating, which is exactly what the music needs to be effective. Considering vocalist Billy Powers is back for the first time since 2010, it showcases where the band was and where the band is now, and both sides shine from the abyss. If you want a band that can channel the Black Dahlia murder, Revocation, Arsis, and Doth, but still have room to make their own flavorings and sound, Wretched is a band that is more than worthy of your attention. This is one of the finest examples of the style done in 2025, and after you hit play, it won't take much convincing to show you why. And now for everything that I missed along the way, starting with Evil Scarecrow with Silicon Tea. The 6 albums into this UK band's career, and they have put out some of the best work of their career easily. What I truly appreciate about bands that can walk that fine line between parody is when they can back up the comedy factors with actual competence in the songwriting and musicianship. There's a lot of diversity in sound on this album, and with everything going on, that is a great thing to see. You can't tackle this and have it work unless both sides of the equation are functioning. The songs are catchy, fun, and will put a smile on your face, while it still hits that black metal, symphonic metal, parody, industrial, and so much more. You will be fascinated with how it's all done. The production is a bit raw, but I also think that kind of adds to the true cult aspect of it, and I think it works. If you're looking for that in an album right now, you should give Evil Scarecrow a shot and see if it works for you, and it is the appropriate time of year. Next up is a band name I'm not entirely sure how to say, but I am gonna try, but I am really gonna screw up the album title. It's Hauresis with Si Vis Pacem Parabellum. The debut album from this German post-black band may be the most devastating post-black album I've simply ever heard. It just decimates everything in its path with its intensity, delivery, and aesthetic that I couldn't be more for happening. They were also on a compilation that was for anti-NSBM, so I couldn't be more for this if I tried. Even if it sucked, I would be promoting this. The music is one of pure intensity, no matter the tempo, and it will hit you like a ton of bricks with one of the best sounding productions I've ever heard in post-black, ever. This reminds me of Keep of Kelsey and started making post-black. Or if you enjoy the likes of Dervig, Einer Freiheit, White Ward, or Atrest, you are going to love this band. Seriously, one of the most devastating post-black albums I have ever heard. Now we have Rotting Demise with the Unholy Veil of Silence. More extreme symphonic metal is here in the form of this sophomore album from this German band. With their debut album being very much of the brutal death metal variety, this album feels like a huge tonal shift, but I think it's done in the right way. It still hits those elements of death metal, but it's so much more symphonic and blackened at the same time. The production feels so much better as well, and the music is definitely more up my speed, and the songwriting has progressed and it's far stronger. You can still hear elements of brutal death metal, but it's more of a spice rather than the full meal. This is such a huge step up for the band, and I hope they keep going in this direction, as it feels quite untapped these days, or at least underused in 2025, and they're doing such an incredible work in the process. If you need that as well, check out what this band is doing with Rotting Demise. Now we have Sabaton with Veins. The third album from this Finnish outfit is creating some quality work, and I'm all here for it. Mixing the heavy end of stoner doom that sometimes gets sludgy, sometimes gets proggy, but always maintains that heavy sound, and it has some impeccable vocals that will sucker you in and holds your attention for all 6 songs and 39 minutes. Each song feels like a separate journey, which is my kind of stoner doom, yet it fits together all in context. The production is some of the finest that I've heard in any style of doom that I've heard in 2025. And if you've been digging the latest albums from The Answer Lies in the Black Void, Maridom, or Mesa, you should check out what Sabaton has to offer. This is some quality work. Now we have Cinder with Tower of the Sun. This is such a captivating piece of prog on the heavier side of things. Mixing progressive metal, progressive death metal, post-black, folk, and more. The sophomore album from the Salt Lake City band captures so much of what I love about this style of music and rolls into one complete package that I simply can't get enough of. Some songs will give you an Agalogue meets Death Heaven feel, others feels like it's straight off of Porcupine Tree's In Absentia before going into full post-black territory. Others feel like the perfect blend of Opeth and Dan Spano worship, and wouldn't you know it, Dan Spano actually did the mix on this album. While this may seem like a hodgepodge of sound, I assure you, it's not. Every note has a purpose, every song hits ridiculously hard in its own way, and if you want a band that knows how to showcase what the heavier and extreme ends of what progressive metal can be, and counterbalance it with that classic prog sound, check out what Cinder is all about. And finally today we have Stormbreaker with Enlightening. The debut album from this Finnish band is so catchy, and it's so hard not to get suckered in by it. Hitting so many catchy elements of melodic metal, symphonic metal, and groove. It's a winning combination for what they're doing. From the dual lead vocal approach to the excellent songwriting, to the modern production that feels so slick and polished in just the right ways. This is a band that can take what they do and make it huge if all the stars align. Feeling like a mix of Amaranth, Beast in Black, and Gorgira. This is a band that will grab your attention, and they have more than earned that right. If this is just their debut, I can't wait to see what their sophomore album is all about, and I feel like they're going to explode in popularity. Let's see what comes next. And there you go, folks, another 20 albums down and 900 album reviews I've done so far in 2025. So what do you think? Did I cover some good stuff this week, some bad stuff this week? Anything that grabbed your attention? Anything you're going to steer clear of? What did I miss? Please let me know down below. And of course, like, comment, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Inching ever so close to 2,000 subscribers, and I thank you so very much for doing so. And if you enjoy what I do, please like and subscribe. But more than anything, check out the full videos. I could really use those watch hours. And make sure to come back next week as we cover Out Today and what I missed for October 24th, 2025. But until then, for the Heavy Debriefings YouTube channel, this is Josh Runquist saying, embrace the skullet.